Chapter 51 Disguise. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yi Luyun nodded repeatedly. Okay. Just tell me, seeing that he agreed, Lei Ming said happily, the way is to dress up as a mercenary and go directly into the city. Yi Luyun was immediately discouraged. He said angrily, have you ever seen mercenaries as young as us? If you can't think of it, don't talk nonsense. Seeing that he didn't believe it, Lei Ming said angrily, I don't know. Haven't you ever heard of disguise? Yi Luyun was too lazy to argue with Lei Ming. No matter how much you change your appearance, you can completely change your appearance and still be invisible to others. Do you think you can get away with it by putting a piece of mud on your face? TCH, it depends on who takes action. My disguise skills are amazing. If you don't believe me, just wait. As she spoke, she started tinkering, took out a lot of tools and materials, and then started mixing the materials. Go and help me pick out a few sets of mercenary clothes. Your figure should be about the same. Lei Ming's commander Yi Luyun said. Yi Luyun couldn't help but feel suspicious when he saw the tools and materials she took out. Maybe this girl really knows how to disguise herself. So he turned around and went to look for the mercenaries. Not long after, he came back with several sets of mercenary clothes. They're all men's clothes. Lei Ming complained. How could I take off a woman's clothes? Just make do with it. After all, mercenaries of both sexes wear similar clothes. Yi Luyun rolled his eyes at her and ignored her words. Then, Yi Luyun was driven away by her, saying that she wanted to change clothes and wouldn't let him see. After a while, Lei Ming called him over, but when he saw her, Yi Luyun was also frightened. Lei Ming completely transformed into a thin man with a mustache. Yi Luyun's eyes lit up and he observed her carefully. Sure enough, he couldn't see any trace of disguise. You can't tell. Your disguise skills are really amazing. Yi Luyun praised. Of course. This is only a short time, otherwise this girl will even change her figure. That when Lei Ming spoke, his voice even changed, which made Yi Luyun even more surprised. This disguise technique is simply perfect. Great. Please help me change something. Yi Luyun couldn't wait to leave here as soon as possible, so Lei Ming helped him put on makeup again. Transform him into a sturdy middle-aged man. You can't change your realm, but you can change your weapons, right? After disguising himself, Lei Ming asked. Who said my realm can't be changed? Yi Luyun hung the treasure he snatched from the guard leader around his neck, and then changed his realm to the 8th level of body refining. This kind of treasure cannot be distinguished unless you encounter a martial artist with particularly powerful spiritual consciousness. Then he took out his sword and put it on his back, looking more like an ordinary mercenary man. Hey, this treasure of yours is quite good. Can you give it to me when you get out? Lei Ming was obviously particularly interested in things that were disguised. Okay, I'll give it to you. It's useless if I keep it anyway. Yi Luyun said. Lei Ming circled around Yi Luyun again and found no flaws before nodding with satisfaction. Let's go. Try to lower your voice as much as possible. It's best to make it hoarse. Lei Ming said, cleaned up the surroundings, then took out 2 black daggers and stuck them behind him, and walked out side by side with Yi Luyun. As she walked, she also taught Yi Luyun how to change his voice, and reminded him to pay attention to the behaviors and movements of some mercenaries. The two of them walked out of the mountains openly. I met several mercenary groups on the road and let them pass without even asking. It wasn't until they were almost entering the city that they ran into trouble and were stopped by a group of mercenaries. Which mercenary group are you two from? The mercenary leader is a 3rd-level martial artist. We are not locals, we are just passing through Wuyang city. Lei Ming replied with a change of voice. Where are the mercenaries from? Which mercenary group? What are you doing here? The leader asked. Lei Ming was about to make it up, but Yi Luyun answered for her, the Green Wolf mercenary group of Fengyang City. As for what they are here for, I can't tell you. The leader glanced at the two of them and stopped asking. He just said, Our Yanghu mercenary group is one of the most powerful mercenary groups in the local area and is currently recruiting people. Are you two willing to join us? Sorry. We still have a mission. Lei Ming replied. You don't know how to lift, don't you? A tall and thin man cursed. Knowing that they were not local mercenaries, they had no worries, but the leader said, That's it. Let's go, we have to do business. It's an advantage for you, I don't have time to repair you today. As he said that, he reached out and slapped Lei Ming. Just want to slap him and teach him a lesson, I never imagined how he could be hit by thunder. He immediately pulled out the dagger and pierced the man's palm. At the same time, another dagger was already in front of the tall and thin man's eyes, so frightened that he didn't dare to move. When the leader saw it, a look of anger appeared on his face. I didn't expect it. You turned out to be a good player. But when you come to our Wuyang to run wild, you are still a little behind. Seeing that he was about to take action, Lei Ming and Yi Luyun became worried. If they fight, their strength will be exposed. And there will be another endless pursuit. As a result, Yi Luyun was quick to think and released the black python from the storage ring. The aura of the fourth level of Black Python's true essence immediately made the leader dare not move. Lei Ming took the opportunity to say, Everyone, there is no point in explaining everything. We all know what is right and what is wrong. There is no need to fight to the death, right? That when the leader saw someone coming down the steps, he immediately scolded the tall and thin man and led them away. He didn't want to fight Lei Ming and the others over this trivial matter. Lei Ming and Yi Luyun also let out a sigh of relief when they saw them leaving. It was so dangerous, I almost had an accident. Yi Luyun made the black python smaller and wrapped it around his arm. The two went directly to the city. Fortunately, everything went smoothly in the follow-up, and the two of them came directly to the Beast Control Pavilion without encountering any obstacles. The deacon of the Royal Beast Pavilion was a fat man. When he saw the black python on Yi Luyun's arm, he immediately took the initiative to greet them, but at this time, Lei Ming hid behind Yi Luyun and stopped talking. It seems that she has a natural fear of the Beast Master. Little brother, do you want to sell this black python? The fat man asked. No. We are here to rent a bird and go to Tianyun County. Yi Luyun replied. Seeing that Yi Luyun was not here to sell black pythons, Fatty couldn't help but feel disappointed. His attitude also took a 180-degree turn. There have been a lot of people rushing to Tianyun County recently, and there are not many birds left. They are all in the backyard. You can go and pick them yourself. Let me know when you have picked them. After saying that, he twisted his fat body and ran back. We sat behind the counter. Yi Luyun didn't care and went directly to the backyard with Lei Ming. This place is filled with animal cages. But many animal cages were empty. It seemed that the fat man was not lying. There were really not many birds left, only 3. A Chuantianyan, but its size is too small to accommodate 2 people. It was a white crane, but it seemed to be very old. Yi Luyun felt that it had no strength even when it stood. The other one is a vulture. With a fierce look in his eyes, he glared at Yi Luyun and Lei Ming fiercely. There is no suitable one. Lei Ming suddenly said. This vulture hasn't been tamed yet, so it can't be used at all. The Chuantianyan is too small and can't seat 2 people. The white crane is too old. If you use it to fly, you will have to stop and rest after a while, and it may die on the way. They were both beasts, and she understood each other's condition at a glance. Chapter 52 Flying Away from Wuyang. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yi Luyun walked directly towards the vulture in the cage and began to communicate with it using his spiritual consciousness. The vulture was also stunned, and its fierce eyes immediately softened a lot. Yi Luyun told it that as long as it was willing to be its own bird, he could rescue it and give it some food, which would not delay its cultivation. It would be better than if it stayed here and was tortured to death or continued to be a bird. Yi Luyun also used the black python on his arm as an example. The black python also confirmed it for him. so the vulture agreed and was imprinted with the soul mark by Yi Luyuan obediently. Lei Ming opened his eyes wide and looked at Yi Luyuan with admiration, wanting to learn how to tame animals from him. Yi Luyuan didn't have time to pay attention to her now. I just want to leave this place as soon as possible to avoid causing trouble. He went directly to talk to Fatty and asked Fatty to sell him the vulture. The vulture has been unruly and untamed since it was bought back. The fat man had long wanted to sell it. However, no one bought the untamed ferocious beasts. I thought the vulture was going to fall into my hands. As soon as he heard that Yi Luyuan was going to buy it, he immediately became energetic. Such a ferocious bird is not easy to come across. I see you are so sincere, so I'll give you 500 mid-grade crystals. The fat man said with a smile. 500 medium-grade crystal stones, you are bluffing me into thinking you are an amateur. That Yi Luyuan thought of this and said directly. I think you know whether this vulture has been tamed well or not. I bought it to be used as food for the black python. Since you are not sincere in selling it, forget it. That Yi Luyuan didn't say much, turned around and left. But the fat man grabbed him. Don't worry. I didn't expect that my little brother is also knowledgeable. Let's do this. You can take 100 medium-grade crystal stones. This is half the price of my cost. That Yi Luyuan chuckled. The vulture had already told him how much they paid for it. At that time, I only paid 100 medium-grade crystal stones. He didn't want to waste any more time. He said directly, no need to talk nonsense. I will give you 50 middle-grade crystal stones. If you agree, I will take them away. If you don't agree, don't stop me anymore. The fat man looked at him, gritted his teeth and said, deal. It seems like you are really an expert, little brother. With that said, he collected the money, then took out the key to the cage and opened the vulture's cage. On the neck of each ferocious beast, there is a beast control collar that controls the ferocious beast. That is to prevent ferocious beasts from biting guests. The tokens to control the ferocious beasts are all in the hands of the guests. Little brother, although you bought this ferocious beast, you have to pay for this collar separately. Fatty didn't mention the collar on purpose just now, just because he wanted to take the opportunity to trick Yi Luyuan again. Unexpectedly, Yi Luyuan said, I don't need the collar, you can take it off. Think carefully, this is a ferocious bird. How can you take it away without a collar? Fatty also didn't expect that Yi Luyuan didn't want a collar. Then you don't have to worry about it, just pick it off. Yi Luyuan said calmly. The fat man had no choice but to call the animal trainer and take off the collar. He originally thought that after taking off the collar, the vulture would suddenly fly away or attack someone, so he stayed far away. Unexpectedly, the vulture followed Yi Luyuan obediently, then leaned down and let Yi Luyuan and Lei Ming sit on it, then jumped into the air and flew away with them. The fat deacon opened his mouth, but no words came out for a long time. At the same time, Lu Wei has lost news about Lei Mingjian since he separated from Yi Luyuan. He waited in the city for several days, but Yi Luyuan did not return to the city. Seeing that time was running out, he began to get anxious. So he rushed to the city lord's mansion and showed the token from the Tianyun prince's mansion. He originally wanted the county governor's office to help him find Yi Luyuan, but he found that Yi Luyuan was wanted by the county governor's office. Immediately, he asked the princess's mansion to lift Yi Luyuan's wanted order. After waiting for a few more days, there was no news from Yi Luyuan, so he had no choice but to ask the county governor's office to arrange a snow sculpture for him and fly directly back to Tianyun County. In fact, as long as Yi Luyuan went to the princess's mansion and showed the token given to him by Lu Wei, the princess mansion would not dare to pursue him, but he did not expect to use the token. The vulture that Yi Luyuan and the others rode had very strong endurance, and it was at the 4th level of true energy, with plenty of true energy. They flew until dark before finding a safe forest and landing to rest. Yi Luyuan and Lei Ming also returned to their original appearance. Then Lei Ming proposed a barbecue to celebrate escaping the pursuit and also to welcome the vulture. Yi Luyuan knew that she was greedy, but he didn't expose it and took out a lot of ferocious beast meat to roast. He was indeed happy. With this vulture, it will be much easier to travel in the future. Moreover, at the 4th level of true essence, it still has a good combat power. Afterwards, Yi Luyun also took out a storage ring and gave it to the vulture, and asked the black python to give some corpses to the vulture as food. Yi Luyun had killed many people during this period. All the corpses were put into the ring and handed over to the black python. Lei Ming once suspected that he was using corpses to practice evil arts. Only now did I know that Yi Luyun was saving food for his pet beasts. Black pythons have plenty of food. Its storage ring can barely hold it, and it doesn't mind giving some to the vulture. After all, it has never lacked food since it followed Yi Luyun. Lei Ming also talked to Yi Luyun at this time. I didn't expect you to be able to tame animals. Can you tell me how you tamed the vulture? Yi Luyun chuckled, approached Lei Ming pretending to be mysterious, and then said, I won't tell you. After saying that, he threw the treasure pendant he promised Lei Ming to her. Promise you? Lei Ming was pouting, angry that he didn't tell him. But after seeing this pendant, I immediately smiled. You must be trustworthy. At this moment, Yi Luyun also sorted out the gains from this period in the storage ring. During this time, he spent a lot of time searching for things from those who were chasing him. He has collected more than 20 storage rings alone. Crystals, low-grade crystals are nearly 3 million, and medium-grade crystals are nearly 400,000. He sorted away items such as medicinal materials and ores. There were also a lot of elixirs and weapons, and he didn't even bother to count them. They only waited until Tianyun County and sold them all to Wanbao Pavilion. He also found 3 books of techniques, one of which was from a low-grade Xian level. Although he can't use these skills, he can bring them back to the Yi family in the future to improve the Yi family's strength. Yi Luyun was secretly happy. If I get this money back to Fengyang City, I will be considered a rich man. What good things are you thinking about? Lei Ming couldn't help but ask when he saw a smile on his face while he was thinking about things. Yi Luyun looked at him and suddenly laughed out loud. You are also a ferocious beast after all. Why are you so cute in your true form? Lei Ming was so angry that he raised his fist and wanted to hit him. That's not my fighting state. I'm afraid my fighting state will scare you. Really? Then let me see if you change into a different person. Yi Luyun deliberately provoked her. TCH, I won't be fooled by you. Lei Ming was smart and didn't fall into his trap. Yi Luyun also discovered it. This little girl is sometimes very smart, sometimes very stupid, and she believes whatever she says. After a while, Lei Ming asked, I don't know why you went to Tianyun County. Participate in the competition and join Tianyun Palace. Yi Luyun said. What does Tianyun Palace do? Lei Ming asked with some confusion. Yi Luyun immediately explained to her the situation in Tianyun Palace. What about you? Why are you going to Tianyun County? Yi Luyun asked Lei Ming. I'm fine. I just think you're a nice guy, little brother, so I just want to play with you. Lei Ming said. She saw that Yi Luyun could return the Thunder Origin Pearl to her and was so kind to the Black Python and the Vulture, so she decided in her heart that Yi Luyun was a good person. That's why I dared to trust him with confidence and boldness. Okay. Thank you for your compliment. I'm going to practice. He had just finished praising this girl for being smart in his heart, but now he regretted it. If he were a bad person, she wouldn't even know he sold her. Chapter 53 Arriving Early. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yi Luyun hasn't concentrated on practicing for a long time. //ncom, now that no one is following him, and with black pythons and vultures protecting him, he can finally practice with peace of mind, so he took a Gu Yuan Dan and began to cultivate his true energy, condensing the true energy seeds in the 8th meridian. He has been fighting constantly these days. He felt that consolidating and improving his realm in battle was the best way. This may also have something to do with his bloodline. Opening up the 8th meridian didn't waste much effort. Got through quickly. And now he is familiar with the process of opening meridians, and his tolerance for pain has also improved a lot. After that, he began to practice his soul again and used the power of thunder and lightning to temper the soul sword. His current power of thunder and lightning was much stronger than before, and his soul was a little uncomfortable at first. The pain made him grimace and turn pale. It was almost dawn when I finally got used to it. But he did not continue. Instead, he took a concentration pill and took a nap. After dawn, they rode the vulture again and rushed to Tianyun County. According to the vulture's speed, they will have another night's rest tonight and will arrive around noon tomorrow. The vulture is very familiar with this area, so there is no need to worry about taking the wrong path. Yi Luyun was not idle on the vulture's back. First, swallow the bloodline pill to increase the awakening level of the bloodline, and then continue to practice the soul. In short, I just keep practicing all the time. Lei Ming was bored to death, but he didn't dare to disturb him. During the night break, Yi Luyun saw that she was really bored, so he cut meat and roasted it while chatting with her about the use of daggers. You don't know how to use it? Then why are you holding a dagger specially designed for assassins? Lei Ming also became interested. Yi Luyun raised the dagger, looked at it, and asked, "Can you see this? Why can't I see any difference? Is it just ordinary black iron? Someone was chasing me, and I captured it. Look at the fact that this dagger is not reflective. It must be specially made for assassination." As he said that, Lei Ming took out his dagger and then demonstrated a few moves to him and told him about the assassination process. Method. Just think of the dagger as an extension of your arm. Lei Ming said. Yi Luyun suddenly realized what he was dreaming about. That's right. The heaven-cutting finger is also an extension of the arm. As he spoke, he turned his fingers far away and pointed out, with a chi sound, a small hole as thick as a finger was pierced in the big tree next to it. Sure enough, not only did it save a lot of energy, it also became a lot more powerful. Yi Luyun immediately stopped caring about the barbecue and started practicing the heaven-cutting finger directly, cultivating the heaven-cutting finger to perfection in one breath. Ever since Yi Luyun had the heaven-cutting finger, he rarely practiced his star-picking hand. If the skill is not too refined, he won't be able to practice it if there are too many. Lei Ming was watching him in fascination. Your understanding is quite good. Both each other. Yi Luyun modestly threw away the burned meat and continued roasting it with another piece of meat. Bake me 2 more pieces, I can't teach you in vain. Lei Ming said coquettishly. Okay. You'll have enough to eat tonight. Yi Luyun also laughed happily. But where did you learn this technique? Yi Luyun asked curiously. I am a monster, so I don't need to learn anything in particular. Some techniques are inherited in my blood. Moreover, these techniques were summarized by our ancestors and are very suitable for us. Lei Ming did not hide anything and told him directly. After hearing this, Yi Luyun looked envious. I don't know if all my bloodline will be awakened, whether it will bring any powerful skills. That night, Yi Luyun practiced the power of his soul and blood for a while, then lay down early to sleep. When we arrive at Tianyun County, something might happen, and we might not be able to sleep again. While it's safe now, let's sleep a little longer. Even sleeping has become a luxury now. Yi Luyun sighed in his heart and soon fell asleep. But he has become accustomed to it. Even if he falls asleep, he will retain some consciousness and be awake, and while he was sleeping, he found that thunder had turned into the image of its own body and fell asleep in his arms. He didn't care, and hugged it into his arms. The fur was just right to keep it warm. After sleeping until dawn, they continued on their way. Soon, they arrived at Tianyun County. Yi Luyun looked down at Tianyun County from the air and had a different understanding of the city. This was also the first time he looked at a city from the air. Suddenly he thought, are those legendary powers who can fly in the air look so insignificant when looking at the people below? As the vulture slowly landed outside the city, Yi Luyun became even more excited. Finally reached. Since he left Wuyang City, the journey has been full of twists and turns. Now we have finally reached our destination. He made both the vulture and the black python shrink and stay in his storage ring. Then he discussed with Lei Ming that he couldn't take Lei Ming with him when he went to the military camp, so he asked Lei Ming to put it into the storage ring, but Lei Ming disagreed, saying that she was an ancient beast and could not stay in the storage space. In fact, she found it too boring to stay in there. So they finally negotiated, and Lei Ming turned into his true form, and as Yi Luyun's pet, he lay on his shoulders and followed Yi Luyun into the city. Since the selection competition for Tianyun Palace is about to be held in the city, qualified warriors from all over the country are gathering here, so many inns are overcrowded, the guest room can no longer be found. In the end, Yi Luyun could only rent another courtyard. Although it is a lot more expensive, it is very quiet and will not be disturbed by others. After settling in, he inquired about the time and place of the competition, then he was pestered by Lei Ming and went to the county town for a walk and bought her a lot of delicious food. They didn't return to the inn until Lei Ming couldn't eat anymore. There are still 7 days until the competition begins, so he can improve his level a little more. For the next time, he didn't go out and practiced at his residence with peace of mind, hoping to raise his level to the first level of true energy before the competition, but things went against expectations. It took a lot of effort to condense the 9th meridian in his body and the true energy seeds in the acupoints. However, using qi to open up the entire meridians always fails. He thought for a moment, maybe he hadn't condensed the true energy enough, or the sea of energy hadn't expanded enough. So in the remaining time, he desperately compressed and condensed his true energy and expanded the air sea. Finally, before the competition, the meridians were rebuilt. This last meridian is wider than the other meridians. Although there was no breakthrough in the realm, Yi Luyun discovered that after the reconstruction of the 9th meridian in the body, the speed of absorbing the spiritual energy of heaven and earth has been rapidly improved, more than 10 times faster than before. Although every time he opened a spiritual vein in the past, he also felt that the speed of absorbing the spiritual energy of heaven and earth accelerated. But it wasn't until all 9 meridians were rebuilt that he felt his speed increase rapidly. Thanks to the reconstruction of the meridians, the speed of absorbing the spiritual energy of heaven and earth was 10 times faster than before. The night before the competition, the true energy seeds in Yi Luyun's body finally started to move and had the intention to gather into the sea of energy, but there was not enough time left for him. He had no choice but to stop and wait for the competition before breaking through to the true essence realm. Chapter 54 Participating in the Competition. You are listening at novelfull.audio. On the day of the competition, he came to the competition venue early and signed up to participate in the competition. //NCOM, with the token Lu Wei gave him, he didn't have to participate in the competition. But he didn't want to use it at all. He didn't want people to think that he got into the reserve camp through connections. He wants to fight for this spot through his own strength. If you lose, it means that you are indeed not qualified to enter, and there is nothing to regret. Then he would return the token to Lu Wei and find another way out. He mingled among the crowd and heard a lot about the contestants. Did you hear about it? In this competition, many young heroes from the true Yuan realm appeared, and their overall strength is much higher than before. I believe this competition will be very exciting. Isn't that right? The Tianyun Prince's mansion is in charge of 9 counties. Except for Tianyun County, many young men are backed by forces from various counties and cities. They will be the prince's right-hand man in the future. It is said that Tong Lei from Yunxiang City is at the 2nd level of true essence. Everyone around was talking about the talented person in this competition. Yi Luyun wandered around casually among the crowd. On the square paved with basalt stone, there are 3 arenas reinforced by formations, surrounded by stands for people to watch the game. Isn't that Lu Wei? Yi Luyun suddenly spotted Lu Wei's figure in the center of the stands. Yi Luyun stepped forward and greeted him. Lord Lu Wei. Ha! Is it you? Why are you here? Lu Wei was surprised and happy when he saw Yi Luyun. Fortunately, Yi Luyun was fine and arrived as scheduled. What was surprising was that Yi Luyun actually came here to participate in the competition. You don't need to participate in this competition. Yi Luyun smiled and said, I still want to enter the reserve camp based on my own strength. Lu Wei took a deep look at him and admired him even more in his heart. Okay then, go get ready. But he had no doubt that with Yi Luyun's strength, he would be able to get a spot. Yi Luyun retreated to the competition area to wait. Lu Wei looked at the pet beast on Yi Luyun's shoulder and couldn't help but feel confused. What kind of ferocious beast is that? Why haven't you seen it? A middle-aged man came over at this time and looked at Yi Luyun. 8th brother, is this kid the genius you brought back from Fengyang City? Lu Wei nodded. He called out Brother 7. This person was the 7th-ranked palace guard, Qi Xiong. It's good to have reached the 9th level of physical training at such a young age. But if he wants to get a spot, his level is not enough. This time there are many talented young people who have reached the 2nd level of true energy. Lu Wei did not argue with Qi Xiong, but his eyes showed determination. He was certain in his heart, there can't be anyone more evil than this kid. Soon, the deacons and elders came on stage. Without saying any nonsense, he explained the rules of the competition to everyone. There are 3 arenas on the field. You go up and compete. The winner can stay and defend the arena. The last 3 people standing on the arena will be qualified to enter the reserve camp. As the elder deacon said the competition begins, the players also started to move. Phew! A figure rushed onto a stage. This young man was wearing black tights and exuding a sinister aura. It's not a bad idea at first glance. I'm Tong Lei from Yinxiang City, who dares to go on stage and fight? I'm going to reach the 2nd level of true energy. Who can beat this? It turns out he is the son of the governor of Yinxiang City. It is said that he has been number 1 in the county for 3 consecutive years. Then, on the 2nd stage, a figure also rushed forward. This man was dressed in green clothes and looked very elegant. And he spoke in a very humble tone, I'm in Yuanlong, Xiaxia County, please give me some advice. Yuanlong. The son of the border guard general Yuanxiong. The 1st level of true essence. Oh my God. Another true essence realm. It is said that he has led the troops to fight on the battlefield. Why does he look so quiet? Those who dare to take the stage now are all the best among young people. Each one has a bigger background than the last. Now there is something good to watch, that while everyone was talking about it, someone suddenly discovered that at some point in the 3rd arena, a young man had already stood up. The young man was dressed in white, spotless, and stood calmly on the ring. On his shoulder, squatting was a blue pet beast, looking at the crowd curiously. Huh? Who is this young man? Could he be a child of some big family? You can tell by his temperament that he is not an ordinary person. And that pet beast is so strange. I wonder what kind it is. It's just that the realm is a bit off. We're not yet at the true essence realm. Can we hold on to the end? This young man is Yi Luyun. The reason why he dared to take the stage was because since he reconstructed the 9 meridians, he could absorb spiritual energy 10 times faster than ordinary people. Therefore, he is confident that his qi can be quickly replenished during battle and can support him throughout the whole process. Moreover, his thunder and lightning power and sword intent are very efficient in saving energy. The worst thing is the soul sword. So he didn't worry about not having enough energy at all. If you want to fight, then fight to the fullest, from beginning to end. Fengyang City, Yi Luyun. Yi Luyun briefly introduced himself and made an invitation gesture. Many people in the stands were not very optimistic about him after seeing his state, and the contestants in the audience were all staring at him eagerly. The people in the first 2 arenas were too strong, so they had to focus on the 3rd arena. With a whoosh sound, a figure jumped onto the ring. After the young man came on stage, he gave Yi Luyun a fist. Fenglin County, Lin Yao Tian. That Yi Luyun discovered that the other party was actually at the 1st level of true essence, he immediately cupped his fists and said, please. There were many big shots watching from the stands. Many of them are generals in the army. Even if you can't get into the reserve camp, if you are favored by some big shot, you can still enter the military camp, but the position will be slightly lower, but at least it is a good choice. This is also the strategy that most people think Yi Luyun will use. After all, his realm is not enough to sustain him to the end. Now seeing an opponent with the 1st level of true energy coming up, I couldn't help but feel sorry for Yi Luyun. I think he's a little impatient, Qi Xiong also said to Lu Wei. This Lin Yaotian, although he is at the 1st level of true yuan, he definitely has the strength to fight against the 2nd level of true yuan. That little guy you fancy is going to be really tough. Lu Wei said calmly, I have confidence in him. Qi Xiong glanced at Lu Wei in surprise, then put aside his contempt and paid attention to his game. He didn't believe that Lu Wei couldn't see the difference between the two. But he is still so confident. Does this kid have any extraordinary skills? On the ring, Lin Yaotian said, originally, I wanted to defend the ring, but I didn't expect you to take the lead. But it doesn't make any difference. Your strength is too weak. Do you want to go down by yourself? Or should I throw you down? Yi Luyun smiled faintly, since you said so, I will throw you down later. I don't know whether to live or die. Lin Yaotian stopped wasting time and took action directly, with one punch, a wind-like cyclone blew towards Yi Luyun. If you are hit by such a tornado, it will be like being cut by 10,000 knives, and it will be torn into pieces in an instant. In order to save energy, Lin Yaotian used his strongest attack, intending to defeat Yi Luyun quickly so that he could fight the next one. Yi Luyun, however, remained calm and pointed towards him with one finger. Everyone exclaimed and sweated for Yi Luyun. They all saw that although Lin Yaotian had an advantage in realm, he was not careless. The power of this punch was enough to rival the second level of true energy. However, what surprised everyone was that Yi Luyun's finger not only broke his cyclone, but also directly hit his fist. Crack! The next moment, everyone heard a clear sound of broken bones, followed by Lin Yaotian's scream. Chapter 55, Stunning Skills. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Looking at Lin Yaotian again, he had been thrown directly off the stage by Yi Luyun. And his hand bones were shattered by Yi Luyun's finger. Hiss! At this moment, the area around the arena became extremely quiet. Even the sound of gasping for air could be heard. Qi Xiong, who was originally not optimistic about Yi Luyun, immediately sat up straight and said in surprise. The movement, strength, and timing of the attack. It's just perfect. I won't misjudge the person. Even us, at his age and level, are far behind him. Lu Wei said lightly. Qi Xiong also nodded, but still said, but he is under a lot of pressure. This year's players are much stronger than in previous years. It will be difficult for him to defend the ring to the end. Keep reading. From what I know about him, he won't do anything he's not sure about. Lu Wei said slowly. In the third arena, Fengyang City Yi Luyun wins. A deacon announced. Lin Yaotian, who was thrown off the stage, looked at Yi Luyun on the stage, and his eyes couldn't help but dim. I wanted to go on stage to show off myself, but I didn't expect that I would be the first person eliminated in this competition. Fortunately, Yi Luyun was merciful and just smashed the bones of his hand, and he would be fine after he went back and used medicine. If Yi Luyun had taken the opportunity to punch himself again, he might not have been able to get off the stage. It's interesting. This Yi Luyun can easily defeat the players of the first level of Zhenyuan. It's exciting now. Look at these three people, who can't hold on anymore. Everyone in the audience became interested, but more players still chose Yi Luyun's arena. After all, his level is the lowest among the three. Yi Luyun also noticed that the players in the audience were all rushing towards him. He was also laughing secretly in his heart. Why, do you think I am a weak persimmon? Without any blood, I'm afraid you don't know how powerful I am. At this time, someone else flew onto the third stage. Bailing City Chao Bao fights. This Chao Bao was tall and tall, much bigger than Yi Luyun, and could fit him inside. Boy, your level is too low. Just get out of here for Grandpa to avoid suffering. Yi Luyun didn't expect that this big guy would scold him when he came on stage. Then he looked at him and suddenly laughed. Chao Bao was stunned and shouted, "Why are you laughing?" Yi Luyun suppressed his laughter and said, "Stop asking, you idiot. Just do it. Ha ha ha. This name is really..." Before Chao Bao could react, someone was already laughing. Even the little blue beast on Yi Luyun's shoulder showed a sneer. Only then did Chao Bao realize that Yi Luyun was scolding him. He immediately became furious. "Boy, you're looking for death. Take your life." As he said that, he stamped his feet, making the arena tremble, and rushed towards Yi Luyun, grabbing Yi Luyun with both hands, as if he wanted to tear him in half, but Yi Luyun gently raised his hand and pointed towards it. There was a soft pop sound, and a small hole appeared in Chao Bao's head, and light could pass through it from front to back. Yi Luyun turned aside and let his body pass. Chao Bao, on the other hand, relied on inertia and rushed past Yi Luyan 2 or 3 feet before falling. With a bang, the huge body fell onto the ring. "You idiot, you dare to pretend to be a grandpa with me. You deserve it." Yi Luyan said softly, "This is also a lesson to those who have not been on stage. Don't pretend in front of him, or you'll get slapped in the face. The bigger the pretense, the more painful the beating will be." Wuyang City, Yi Luyan wins. The deacon came to the stage again and announced. "Go ahead, this is a ruthless person. He kills people if he disagrees with him. Such strength. Killed 2 first-level Xianxia in seconds. The 2 of them didn't even resist at all. This finger is too fast. Who can stop his finger?" Everyone's eyes changed when they looked at Yi Luyan. Many players had stopped moving towards the 3rd stage, Wuyang City. Which county does it belong to? Many people don't know where this city is. As the competition progressed, Wuyang City Yi Luyan, these 6 words were mentioned again and again by the deacon, and many people had these 6 words deeply imprinted in their hearts. The competition progressed into the evening, and the 3 people who first stood on the stage were all standing on the stage. Now there is no one in the 3rd arena. Everyone thought it was a monster. Anyone who comes on stage, no matter what technique they use to fight him, will be injured if they find it pleasing to him. If they don't, they will be knocked down with just 1 finger. No one can withstand one of his moves. There were a few people with good physical skills who tried to dodge one of his moves. However, Yi Luyan's physical skills were faster, and they still had the same fate of being defeated by 1 move. It was as if Yi Luyan's move was a natural chasm that they would never be able to cross in their lifetime. What's even more annoying is that he is not tired. No one can see how powerful his true energy is. As for Tong Lei and Yuan Long in the 1st and 2nd arenas, their faces were already slightly pale and they were showing signs of lack of energy. Only Yi Luyan looked as if he had just come on stage, showing no sign of fatigue. As a result, no one came to his ring to seek abuse. This made Yi Luyan a little disappointed. It's been a day and he hasn't found an opponent that makes him feel pressured. Qi Xiong in the stand saw the disappointed expression on Yi Luyan's face and said to Lu Wei, "You have really sharp eyesight. You found such a monster." Lu Wei smiled, seeing his disappointed look. "I want to lower my level and fight with him." "Ha ha ha. If it's allowed, I will come first and it won't be your turn." Qi Xiong also laughed after hearing this. "I really want to see this boy's full strength." Now even a fool can see that Yi Luyan must have hidden methods. There will be opportunities in the future. Lu Wei said happily. Tong Lei and Yuan Long in the other 2 stands looked at Yi Luyan with unnatural expressions. They must have felt the pressure. They didn't expect that the biggest threat to them this time was an unknown young man coming out of a small place. And this young man is at least 3 or 4 years younger than them. Not only is he younger, but his level is also lower than them. It would be a shame if they couldn't win again. Qi Xiong also said, given the identities of Tong Lei and Yuan Long, it is likely that they have hidden middle-grade Xian level or higher-level techniques. Lu Wei also nodded in agreement. But he has confidence in Yi Luyan. Yi Luyan was not idle either. Holding the Wukong stone in his hand while observing the battle between the 2 of them, he saw that although the energy consumption of these 2 people was relatively serious, there was no timidity in their eyes during the battle, and they obviously hid their strength, and he also noticed that neither of them used weapons. I am afraid that the strength shown by the 2 of them now is similar to his. At least there is one skill and weapon that has not been taken out, but in terms of true energy, they are obviously not as good as Yi Luyan. This is enough to prove the horror of Yi Luyan's true strength. And he's not afraid of the techniques either. His Xianxia finger is an earth-level mid-level technique. It's just that he only uses this finger, so it's hard for others to see. There is also the Ling Tian technique for him, which is a heaven-level technique. Even if he can't be beaten, no one can escape faster than him. Gradually, no one stepped onto the ring to challenge anymore. The blue pet on his shoulder was also yawning, with a bored look on his face. The people in the stands had excited looks in their eyes. They all knew that the final was coming. Now let's see who can become the first in this competition. Chapter 56 1 versus 2. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The value of this first place is quite high, basically representing the first person of the younger generation in the entire Tianyun 9 counties. This first place also represents a high status and sufficient cultivation resources. If you can be favored by the prince, you will be a respected palace guard. At least you will be able to rise to prominence in the future. Seeing that no one challenged him again, the deacon elder also announced the end of the first round of competition. Then let the 3 champions gather on the second stand in the middle. Tong Lei flew over, while Yi Luyun flashed and disappeared on the third stage. When he appeared again, he was already standing on the second stage. He was much faster than Tong Lei. Yi Luyun was already bored waiting. Seeing that the subsequent competition was about to begin, he was excited and showed his flying skills. What a fast speed! How did he get over? What kind of body movement is this? So mysterious, that the people in the stands were shocked again. Qi Xiong was so shocked that his eyes almost fell out. Space body skills. Could this kid have mastered the power of space? After he said this, even he himself couldn't believe it. LV Wei shook his head. I don't know. This kid has been constantly surprising me since I met him. Every time I thought that was all his strength, he would show stronger strength later. And Tong Lei and Yu Wenlong's expressions became more solemn. They now had to admit that Yi Luyun was definitely a strong opponent. They had to go all out in the battle later. Hearing everyone's discussion, Yi Luyun also touched his nose a little embarrassedly. It's careless. It seems that my training is still not enough, and I am still so impulsive. At this time, the voice of the deacon elder rang. The rules of the last round of the competition are that there are no rules. Whoever stands on the stage last will be the first. This is also okay. Yi Luyun obviously didn't expect that there would be such a competition rule. The game begins. The deacon elder didn't give the few people more time to think about it, and directly announced the start of the game. Tong Lei and Yu Wenlong both took out their weapons at the same time. Tong Lei's weapon was a spear, and Yu Wenlong's weapon was a sword, both of which were mid-grade Xian-level weapons. Yi Luyun saw this and also took out his knife. However, his weapon was only a top-grade Huang-level weapon. It was 2 levels lower than the weapons of the 2 of them. The rest of the people in the audience immediately laughed softly. As expected of a small place, most of them, the worst weapons were low-grade Xian-level weapons. Only people like Yi Luyun, who came from a small place, used Huang-level weapons. Lei Ming saw these people laughing at Yi Luyun, so he bared his teeth and threatened them, but her cute appearance attracted more laughter. Yi Luyun didn't care at all. Since he understood the sword intent, he knew that even an ordinary sword would not be much different under his sword intent. Every time he slashed, he focused on the domineering intent, not the level. No matter how high the level of the sword is, if the artistic conception is not enough, it is scum in front of him. Tong Lei and Yu Wenlong looked at each other and said with their spiritual sense, get rid of him first. Then, everyone saw them nod at the same time. Then they looked at Yi Luyun together. Yi Luyun immediately understood their intentions, smiled slightly, and didn't care too much. In front of the sword intent, there is not much difference between 1 and 2. Unless the 2 of them have also practiced the sword intent and the gun intent. But Yi Luyun obviously didn't feel that kind of artistic conception from them. Tong Lei said, country bumpkin. Your strength is really good. However, the first position is not something you can handle. Hurry up and step down, otherwise we will take action against you. In his opinion, reminding Yi Luyun in advance was already kind to him. Yu Wenlong was stunned when he heard this. Although he agreed to deal with Yi Luyun together, it was because Yi Luyun was too strong, and he did not look down on Yi Luyun. Seeing this, Yi Luyun also asked Yu Wenlong, do you have the same idea as him? Yu Wenlong shook his head slowly, I just want to defeat you and win the first place. Yi Luyun nodded and stopped talking. Alas! This is the end of having no background. No matter how strong you are, it's useless. In the Tianyun Palace, is background more important than strength? I seem to be a little disappointed. It's the same everywhere. Background is also a kind of strength. Who let him have a good father? Everyone had mixed opinions on Tong Lei's behavior, but they all felt sorry for Yi Luyan. Yi Luyan looked at Tong Lei with a smile. Boy, what's your vision? Tong Lei felt something was wrong and asked Yi Luyan. Yi Luyan smiled and said, I'll let you rest for a while, so that you won't die unwillingly later. Who? Yi Luyan's words caused the crowd watching to explode. Oh my God! Is this kid crazy? He dares to provoke me in this situation. A cross-border battle, 1-on-2. He really dares. Only Lu Wei shook his head helplessly and said, this Tong Lei is dead. I know this kid too well, Qi Xiong said indifferently, this kind of rich kid with a good family background, if he dies, what's there to regret? It's better to die, so as not to tarnish the reputation of our Tianyun palace. Tong Lei, who was on the ring, yelled with a ferocious expression, are you dissatisfied with your longevity? Then he winked at Yuan Long, and the momentum of the two people rose sharply at the same time. At the same time, a powerful aura emerged from Yi Luyan's body. This aura was like an aura, surrounding him, and getting stronger and stronger. A supreme dominance suddenly appeared, and it was still rising sharply. Tong Lei and Yuan Long originally used Xian-level middle-level weapon skills to deliver the strongest blow, but when the momentum of the three of them collided, their momentum was instantly crushed, and Yi Luyan's domineering momentum made them feel like they wanted to look up and worship him. At this moment, they all felt that they were too small and had no power to fight. This knife will chop them into pieces. Both of them realized at the same time that they could no longer let Yi Luyan gather momentum, otherwise they would not even have the courage to take action and would immediately kneel down. Take action! Tong Lei shouted and fired out a shot. Although the momentum was a little weaker, the attack from the middle-grade Xian-level technique was equally powerful. A silver dragon flew out of the gun and rushed towards Yi Luyan. Yuan Long also stabbed out with his sword, and a ray of green light flew towards Yi Luyan very quickly, without any hesitation. The attack power is not bad at all. At this time, Yi Luyan's expression was indifferent, like a high-ranking king overlooking two ants, and he just waved his knife casually. Not to mention he was not seen using any movement techniques to move his body. After he swung the sword, there was a huge beam of sword light that struck Tong Lei head-on, while Yuan Long was just enveloped in the sword light and did not accept the attack head-on. There was a loud boom, and a dazzling white light spread out like an explosion, dazzling everyone's eyes. When everyone slowed down and looked again, Yi Luyan was slowly putting away the knife, and then stood on the stage with his hands behind his back, without any damage to his clothes. Yuan Long fell to the ground with his back up, his whole body covered with knife marks and dripping with blood. But it was not fatal, just twitching constantly. He still held a sword hilt in his hand, maintaining the posture of holding the sword. As for Tong Lei, only a section of the gun handle was left, and the surrounding area was covered with blood and minced meat. Quiet. The entire competition venue was so quiet that you could hear a pin drop. Everyone held their breath. It seems that every time you take a breath, you will be fatally attacked. Chapter 57 The County Becomes Famous. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Qi Xiong and Lu Wei murmured at the same time, the intention of the sword. This is the intention of the sword. However, the next moment was chaos. Someone in the stands burst out with the pressure of the fifth level of true energy, shocking the people next to them to the point of vomiting blood. Little beast, how dare you kill my young master? Before he could finish his words, the man had already flown towards Yi Luyan at an extremely fast speed. Before the person arrived, Yi Luyan felt that he was being targeted by a spear. If you dare to touch a hair on his body, I will destroy your entire Tong family. Lu Wei's 8th level of Jinyuan's momentum suddenly exploded and he rushed towards the stage. The Tong family dared to compete for the first place in the Tianyun Prince's mansion, which was undoubtedly showing contempt for the majesty of the Tianyun Prince's mansion, but he was obviously a beat slower. The old man who was going to kill Yi Luyan was completely carried away by this moment, and he locked onto Yi Luyan regardless. At this time, Yi Luyan suddenly faced him and showed a cold smile. The old man suddenly felt a creepy feeling and subconsciously wanted to stop his attack, but the next moment, Yi Luyan disappeared out of thin air. He was not given a chance to regret. Then, the old man felt dizzy. And while spinning, I saw my own body. Take one last look at this world. This is what I reward you for. Yi Liuyan's cold voice was like a death knell from hell. Plop. Plop, that the old man's body and head fell to the ground one after another. The eyes on his head were still wide open, but they were full of fear. At this time, Lu Wei had already flown to the stage. But he was also stunned. He originally thought that Yi Liuyan was seriously injured even if he didn't die. Unexpectedly, it was this old man who died. Still got killed instantly. Yi Liuyan once again exceeded his expectations. The whole audience was silent again. Everyone was staring at Yi Liuyan, too shocked to speak. A strong man at the 5th level of true essence sneak attacked a boy at the 9th level of body refining, and was killed instantly. What kind of monster is this? Even Lu Wei shook his head helplessly and smiled bitterly. Then he said to Qi Xiong, "Brother Qi, I have to trouble you to go to Tong's house." Qi Xiong had already stood up and was staring at Yi Liuyan. Then he said cautiously, "Don't worry, I will take care of it." After saying that, his figure disappeared from everyone's eyes. Everyone knows that the Tong family is going to be in trouble. You have to shed your skin even if you don't die. The Tianyun Palace will definitely protect this evil genius and will not allow anyone to harm him. At this moment, everyone who had challenged Yi Liuyan and survived suddenly realized how lucky they were to still be alive. And those big shots have all decided to tell the juniors when they get home not to offend this god of death. This murderous god seems harmless to humans and animals, but if he doesn't take action, it will definitely kill him. He has only reached the 9th level of body refining and can kill the 5th level of true essence with one strike. Who dares to mess with such a person? And it's not like he has no backer now. Tianyun Palace is his biggest backer. The Tong family is the best example of offending him. At this time, the Deacon Elder also recovered and announced Yi Liuyan as the first place in this year's selection competition. These 6 words Yi Liuyan of Fengyang City are destined to be famous in Tianyun Palace. Yi Liuyan's last 2 hits alone are enough for people to remember his name. All the players in the audience looked at Yi Liuyan with very complicated emotions at this moment. He was both proud that such a monster could appear among them, and also felt sorry for himself. Being born in the same era as this monster, I don't know whether they are lucky or unlucky. Next, Yu Wenlong was carried down for treatment. Since he suffered only traumatic injuries, he got a spot in 2nd place. There is a vacancy in the 3rd place. So the elder deacon decided to make an additional match and let everyone compete for the 3rd ranking by holding the ring. Nothing happened without Yi Liuyan this time. Lu Wei wanted to pull him to the stands, but Yi Liuyan didn't want to be so conspicuous. He had no choice but to excuse himself by saying that he was about to make a breakthrough, so he said goodbye and left the competition venue. When Lu Wei heard that he was about to break through, he naturally asked him to go back immediately. He also personally arranged for someone to send him back and sent someone to guard him secretly. The contestants who were still in the competition were all excited because there was an extra spot. But after hearing the news that Yi Liuyan was going to break through, everyone immediately became quiet. This monster is so strong without breaking through to the true element realm. If it breaks through, torturing them will not be like playing. Therefore, in their subsequent battles, none of them were arrogant anymore, and even their tone of voice became much more humble. Everyone in the stand saw this scene, but they could only smile helplessly. At the end of the competition, a disciple named Lin Feng won 3rd place. However, since Yi Liuyan's breakthrough was imminent and Yu Wenlong also needed time to heal, the elder deacon and Lu Wei discussed it and decided that the 3 of them would enter the reserve camp together in 3 days. At this point, the competition officially ends. Yi Liuyan, on the other hand, had returned to his residence and began to break through with peace of mind. During this period of time, he has been experiencing battles, and his realm has become extremely stable. So Yi Liuyan took 3 Gu Yuan pills in one breath, compressed the true energy with all his strength, and expanded the air. The 3 solid Yuan pills, after being absorbed and refined, released a large amount of true energy, which surged through Yi Liuyan's meridians. Fortunately, his meridians have been rebuilt and are extremely tough. Then all this true energy rushes into the Sea of Qi, constantly expanding the Sea of Qi and making it even bigger. While expanding, the true energy is also constantly condensing. At the same time, the brightest true qi seed in the qi sea began to shine, and other true qi seeds that had been silent began to gather towards the qi sea one after another. Yi Luyan was excited, but he didn't dare to be careless at all, paying full attention to the changes in his body. I saw that the true energy seeds were integrated into the true energy seed in the sea of qi one after another, and the true energy seed expanded tremendously and became brighter. The whole process lasted about 2 hours. First, the Qihai stopped expanding. The current size of Yi Luyan Qihai is 10 times the size of an ordinary person. At the same time, the true energy had also been condensed and compressed, and had been compressed to the limit by Yi Luyan. All the Xianxia seeds also gathered together, forming a glowing Xianxia light group. Yi Luyan couldn't even imagine what such a large sea of qi and so many true qi seeds would look like after breaking through to the true essence realm. Then, Yi Luyan only felt a loud rumbling sound in the air sea, which made him tremble all over. The sea of qi felt like the sky was shattering and the earth was shattering, and all the true energy in the whole body suddenly gathered into the sea of qi. Only then did he understand why he needed to rebuild his meridians first and why he needed to expand his qi sea. It is true that the amount of qi in his body is too high and the properties of qi are too strong. If he is not prepared in advance, the instantaneous impact of this breakthrough will be enough to make his qi sea and meridians explode. At that time, I was just playing to death. Moreover, his death was extremely tragic, as his whole body of Xianxia exploded and he died. But even though he was well prepared, at this moment, his qi sea was still uncomfortable due to the influx of true qi. Fortunately, this uncomfortable process does not take too long. Soon, the true energy began to surround the true energy seeds, condensing into a gas that was as condensed as the true energy seeds, and all emitted a faint brilliance. Then, the Xianxia continued to be compressed, and the degree of condensation was much higher than that of the Xianxia seeds, and if the compression continues, the true energy will obviously not be enough. Yi Luyan took Guyuan Dan again, but found that the true energy content of Guyuan Dan was simply a drop in the bucket and had no effect on the current needs, so, he immediately took out 100,000 medium-grade crystal stones, surrounded his body, and absorbed the energy in the crystal stones. The reason why crystal stones are valuable is because they contain relatively pure energy and are recognized by all martial arts cultivators. At this moment, Yi Luyan just wanted to fill up his energy so as not to affect his breakthrough, so he didn't care about losing money. Yi Luyan's Shenyuan Qi refining technique can absorb any energy very quickly. Especially this kind of pure energy can be converted into true energy almost instantly, replenishing the sea of energy. Then 100,000 mid-grade crystals were not enough, so Yi Luyan painfully took out another 100,000 mid-grade crystals, which finally satisfied his demand for true energy. His realm also successfully broke through to the first level of true essence. Chapter 58 Camp Rules. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Looking at the bright air mass formed by the compression of the true energy in the air sea, Yi Luyan was extremely pleasantly surprised. 520 Official website. Is this what we call true energy? My true energy is much larger than others. That his spiritual consciousness has discovered other people's true energy, which is only 1/10 the size of his. Yi Luyan immediately used the secret method of Dian divine art to cover the sea of qi to prevent others from detecting it. Next, when he saw the crystal powder on the ground, he couldn't help but feel pain. 200,000 mid-grade crystal stones. It's just gone. His body ached for a while because of the crystals he had consumed, and then he continued to practice and began to stabilize his realm. After practicing for a while, he discovered that his true energy could become bigger and brighter as he practiced. It seems that in the entire realm of true essence, the main task of cultivation is to continuously make the true essence bigger and brighter. The bigger it is, the more real energy it has, and the brighter it is, the more powerful it is. So, without rest, he practiced for a whole day until dark, then went to the yard to bake something to eat, and ate it with Lei Ming. What Yi Luyan didn't know was that the moment he broke through, all the spiritual energy within a 10-mile radius was attracted to him. The news of his breakthrough shocked everyone within the area. Fortunately, Lu Wei arranged for someone to protect him, otherwise his practice would have been interrupted. Even if he is practicing now, the people in several other courtyards around him cannot practice, and their spiritual energy has been sucked away by him. These people wanted to go to him to argue, but they were all stopped by the people from Tianyun Palace. Most of the people living here are contestants from other places. After finding out that it was Yi Luyun who broke through, there was no movement one by one and they all moved away quietly. After Yi Luyun finished eating, he tried the power of the true essence realm. This feeling is so good. This kind of true essence texture is much more powerful than true energy. If the true energy is compared to a tree, then the current true energy is like a forest. At the 5th level of true energy, he felt that he might not be unable to fight. Of course, he was not so shy that he wanted to challenge a martial artist at the 5th level of true energy. As long as they don't offend themselves, the fact that he was able to instantly kill the master at the 5th level of true energy during the competition was entirely due to the space ability of the Wukong stone. In fact, it had little to do with him. No matter how strong his sword intention was, he still couldn't kill a martial artist at the 5th level of true energy at that time. After realizing his shortcomings, he honestly went back to continue practicing. The higher his level, the stronger his opponent will be. If you want to be invincible, you have to keep practicing. He spent the remaining 2 days in the process of strengthening his bloodline, cultivating his soul, and cultivating his true energy. As for his skills, he left them to practice in battle. As for the volley technique, ever since he saw its power, he knew that he was still far from perfecting it. Now it has become a must-practice technique for him. But he can hold the Wukong stone while walking, so there is no rush to improve. 3 days passed in the blink of an eye. Yi Luyun was taken to a hill to join Lu Wei, Yu Wenlong and Lin Feng. Lu Wei first introduced Lin Feng to him, and then gave each of Yu Wenlong and Lin Feng a token. Yu Wenlong and Lin Feng both looked at Yi Luyun curiously. I was thinking, why didn't you give it to him? Lu Wei smiled and said, I have given Yi Luyun his token a long time ago. But he still insists on proving himself through his own strength. At this time, Yi Luyun also took out the token and hung it on his waist. Upon seeing this, Yu Wenlong said helplessly, so you already have the token. If you run to compete like this, you are completely pretending to be a pig to eat the tiger. Yi Luyun and Lin Feng both laughed, and the atmosphere between the three of them became much more harmonious. Okay, you go up the mountain by yourself. Even if my mission is completed now, I won't send you up. After you go up, someone will introduce the situation to you. Lu Wei said to them. The three of them said goodbye to Lu Wei and walked up the mountain together. When they reached the top of the mountain, they saw a row of stone courtyards and more huts. There are also many teenagers practicing boxing. Seeing them coming, they all stopped and looked at them. Look, one of the new disciples this year is at the 2nd level of true essence. 3 of them are in the true Yuan realm. The disciples of this class are really strong. Yi Luyun and the others were also taking stock of the situation here. This is the Jinjiawi preparatory camp? Lin Feng said curiously. We are not in the wrong place, are we? Yi Luyun and Yu Wenlong were also very curious. The environment here was not much different from that in the wilderness. At this time, a bald middle-aged man came over and shouted in a loud voice, New here? I am the manager here. Come with me. With that said, he led them into a hall. The furnishings in the main hall are also very simple. The bald man said to himself, My name is Hans Han. I rank 6th among the palace guards. Many people only know the name Jinjiawi, but they don't know that Jinjiawi is also divided into levels. There are only 20 palace guards at the highest level, who take orders directly from the prince. There are more than 20,000 other Jinjiawi. They are divided into 3 levels according to their positions. The first-class positions are the highest and the third-class positions are the lowest. You will gradually come into contact with these in the future. The tokens you have in your hands now are the third-class tokens of ordinary golden armored guards. In fact, those who can enter the reserve camp, as long as they don't die, can eventually become ordinary third-class golden armor guards. As for the rules here, firstly, you are not allowed to beat your own people to death, and secondly, you are not allowed to leave at will. You must ask for leave from me in advance. There are no other rules, everything has to be fought for by yourself. After you get used to it for a while, you will understand the meaning of this sentence. Remember, everything has to be fought for by yourself. As he said that, Han Shan winked at them. this immediately made the three of them feel like they had been fooled. After that, Hans couldn't help but drive them out. Is this really a preparation camp? But where are we staying? They didn't even tell us where we live. Lin Feng sighed. We'd better go and ask ourselves. Yi Luyan suggested, so the three of them asked some old disciples together. Only then did they understand what Han Shan meant by his last words. These thatched houses were built by these disciples themselves. As for those stone villas, you need to challenge the owner and win before you can live in them. People who live in stone houses not only have good food and drink, but also have maids to serve them, as well as elixirs, crystal stones and other supplies. In this preparation camp, it was a paradise life. As for others, everything has to be reliant on their own. In other words, if they want to enjoy good cultivation conditions, they must beat the owner of the stone house. What is the state of the owner of the stone house? Yi Luyan asked. The 10th stone house, Pang Sihai, is at the second level of true essence. The 9th one is at a higher level. By analogy, the owner of the first stone house, Shi Tianjing, has reached the 5th level of true essence. Yi Luyan and the others were not in a hurry to challenge, so they just wandered around the camp. Soon, it was dinner time. When they saw the dinner, Lin Feng immediately went to challenge the owner of the stone house. The dinner was simply not something for people to eat, it was completely leftovers from other people's meals, and it was already rancid. It's disgusting to watch. Even Yi Luyan couldn't bear this kind of food. Lei Ming also nodded repeatedly and agreed with Yi Luyan to challenge, and those old disciples, as if they already knew that they would challenge, were already waiting by the 10th stone house to watch the excitement. When Yi Luyan and the others came to the front of the courtyard, they saw the owner Pang Sihai having dinner in the courtyard. Although it was not a delicacy, it was still wine and meat. Compared with them, this is indeed a paradise and a hell. Chapter 59 Fighting for the Stone House. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lei Ming watched Pang Sihai eat so much wine and meat that he almost cried out. // scratched Yi Luyan's shoulders, urging him to challenge him quickly. Pang Sihai in the other courtyard also asked with a smile, who among the three of you will challenge me? Let's agree first. Although killing is not allowed here, breaking arms and legs is normal. Yi Luyan looked at Pang Sihai and said to Yu Wenlong and Lin Feng, I'll leave him to you two while I go challenge the 9th stone house. Lin Feng, you can't beat him now, don't be impulsive. Yu Wenlong, you can try it with your strongest attack. If not, wait until you improve before challenging again. Yu Wenlong nodded and stood up. I'll challenge you. Pang Sihai looked at Yu Wenlong, said and said, he is a good opponent. So he stood up and walked outside the courtyard. Yu Wenlong also followed Yi Luyan's words and used his sword when he went up, and used the strongest blow, but he still didn't hit Pang Sihai and only scratched him with his sword. As for Yu Wenlong himself, he was punched by Pang Sihai and vomited blood on the spot. Lin Feng originally thought that Yi Luyan's words meant he was looking down on him, but now that he thought about it, he was still frightened. Fortunately, he was thinking of giving face to Yi Luyan and didn't rush over first. Otherwise, in his place, besides vomiting blood, he would also have to break a few bones. This Pang Sihai's explosive power and strength are too strong. Yi Luyan gave Yu Wenlong a healing medicine and took them to the 9th stone house. The onlookers immediately became interested. This kid is so fierce. He actually surpassed Pang Sihai and directly challenged Tian Yuan. Wouldn't it be better to live a good life? Let's challenge the 3rd level of true essence at the 1st level. Tian Yuan, the owner of the 9th stone house, did not expect that a newcomer would challenge him directly. I guess this new guy wants to be in the limelight. Then I'll make him realize the reality. Seeing that the one who challenged him was at the 1st level of true essence, he felt a little disdainful. Boy, have you thought about it? I won't show mercy when I take action. If you get hurt, you will be responsible for the consequences. Tian Yuan reminded him. Okay. Yi Luyan agreed without saying anything more and made a gesture of invitation. Tian Yuan did not hesitate and punched Yi Luyan directly, and did not slack off just because he despised Yi Luyan. After the punch was struck, accompanied by a tiger roar, a tiger-shaped true energy shadow rushed towards Yi Luyan. Yi Luyan pointed his finger as if nothing had happened, and a burst of true energy shot out, not only piercing the tiger's head, but also punching a bloody hole in Tian Yuan's shoulder. I'll go. This kid is so powerful. Is he really the first level of true energy? Isn't he hiding his realm? You must have broken Tian Yuan's technique by chance. How is it possible with such a huge gap in realm, that the disciples around him were all talking quietly? Tian Yuan's shoulder was pierced and he didn't even make a sound from the beginning to the end. At this moment, there was only fear in his heart. He had personally felt Yi Luyan's finger and knew the speed and power of that finger. If Yi Luyan had turned slightly away and pointed at his head or heart, he would have been dead by now, so he covered his shoulders and admitted defeat, then turned back into the house, took out his things, and gave the stone house to Yi Luyan. Lei Ming, on the other hand, was on Yi Luyan's shoulder, showing off his power, pinching his waist with his two short claws, as if showing off, which made the disciples burst into laughter. Yi Luyan really admired Tian Yuan's tough guy style. She felt a little sorry for robbing his place, so she gave Tian Yuan a healing pill. Tian Yuan was stunned for a moment, but he still thanked him, took it, and left directly. The disciples around him also became excited. The news that a newcomer can drive away the owner of the stone house can still add some fun to their boring cultivation life. And some people are obviously ready to make a move, thinking that Yi Luyan is not that strong and it should just be a coincidence, but before these people could challenge Yi Luyan, Pang Sihai strode over. New kid, this stone house courtyard is not something someone with the first level of true energy like you can make decisions about. Obediently let me out. So, you're here to challenge me? Yi Luyan asked with raised eyebrows. Challenge you? Are you worthy? I just happened to win once, and you're crazy about it. Pang Sihai laughed. Some old disciples around him, after hearing what Pang Sihai said, were even more certain that Yi Luyan happened to break Tian Yuan's technique. Otherwise, how could a person with the first level of true energy defeat the third level of true energy? Lei Ming squatted on Yi Luyan's shoulder and made a whining sound, obviously threatening him and very angry at his provocation, but Yi Luyan looked Pang Sihai up and down. What are you looking at? Why don't you get out of here? Do you have to wait for me to take action? Pang Sihai shouted. On the side, Yu Wenlong and Lin Feng were already mourning for him in their hearts. Anyone who dares to scold Yi Luyan like this will die in a miserable way, Yi Luyan said with a smile but not a smile. I'm trying to decide which bone is more suitable to break. It's a pity that you can't kill people here, otherwise I will kill you directly to establish my authority. That Yi Luyan did not hide his thoughts, but said them directly. He had already made up his mind to use this Pang Sihai to establish his authority to prevent others from messing with him again. He had actually seen those eager glances just now. If you want to die, I can help you. Beat you into a puddle of mud first. Pang Sihai said, and then hit Yi Luyan. Yi Luyan, on the other hand, directly used his star finger to punch Pang Sihai. The disciples around were dumbfounded. They all knew the power of Pang Sihai's punch. It was the most powerful, and even Tian Yuan didn't dare to resist. Otherwise, he wouldn't have punched Yu Wenlong until he vomited blood. However, he was easily resisted by Yi Luyan. Not only did he resist, Yi Luyan squeezed his hand hard, and a clicking sound was heard, followed by Pang Sihai's scream. After that, Yi Luyan pulled Pang Sihai over casually, then used both hands to point at each of Pang Sihai's limbs. Pang Sihai immediately lay on the ground and wailed. The disciples around him suddenly felt chilled when they heard Pang Sihai howling like a slaughtered pig. Those people who were about to make a move immediately became honest. They also all know that if you win one by chance, if you win two in a row, that's strength. Moreover, Yi Luyan was so cruel that he broke all the bones of people's limbs. They all trembled when they looked at Pang Sihai's dented limbs. I'll teach you a lesson. Don't curse others when you open your mouth in the future. I won't ruin your cultivation this time, so you can take care of yourself in the future. Yi Luyan said to Pang Sihai. Pang Sihai finally passed out in pain at Yi Luyan's door. Yi Luyan, on the other hand, didn't care and turned directly into the stone house. Lei Ming, on the other hand, turned around and made a face to everyone. looking very proud of himself. After Yi Luyan settled in the stone house, he invited Yu Wenlong and Lin Feng to live together, but they were rejected by them. Yu Wenlong smiled and said, "Have you forgotten Han Shan's words? We have to fight for everything by ourselves. Can we rely on you for a lifetime? Don't worry, believe us, we will win the stone house in the future." "Okay. Just because of your mentality, I'm determined to be your friend." Yi Luyan also smiled. That night, Yu Wenlong and Lin Feng built a simple thatched house next to Yi Luyan's stone house and lived there. Chapter 60 Fight for Yourself. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the days that followed, everyone continued to practice and fight. 520 official website.no one dares to relax in the slightest, for fear of being caught up by others. Challenges happen every day, and even the owners of stone houses are challenging forward to strive for better stone houses. However, Yi Luyan felt that there was not much difference between these stone houses. So he didn't continue the challenge, but kept busy practicing. Yi Luyan has now reached the true Yuan realm and needs to take Yuan Ningdan. He himself has some materials for refining the Yuan Ningdan, but not many. It was just enough to last him for a short period of time. His Yuan Ningdan is naturally different from the Yuan Ju Dan that others take, and the effect is much better. So he gave all the Juyuan pills distributed here to Yu Wenlong and Lin Feng. Since he reached the true Yuan realm, his soul and true Yuan have improved, so his alchemy skills have also improved. Now, by refining a furnace of 30 elixirs, you can at least have 2 or 3 middle-grade Xian-level elixirs. Most of the rest are low-grade Xian-level elixirs, and occasionally 2 or 3 top-grade Huang-level elixirs will appear. But the high-grade ones in the Huang class are no longer available. This shows that the elixir he refined has reached a new level as a whole. After refining the elixir, Yi Luyan began to practice non-stop again. After a period of time, his true energy, bloodline and soul were greatly strengthened. Lei Ming was even more surprised that he could make alchemy. He also took away all the bloodline pills that he didn't use from Yi Luyan. She had already made up her mind to hang out with Yi Luyan from now on. And every time Yi Luyan slept, she would hug him into his arms. With her company, Yi Luyan's life will not be too boring. So he turned a blind eye to her, and almost all the unused elixirs were looted by Lei Ming. However, Yi Luyan has made no progress in body refining recently, mainly due to the lack of medicinal materials for body refining. And other medicinal materials may not be able to sustain it for too long. If you don't go out and buy some medicinal materials, your savings will be exhausted. He went to ask Hans Han for leave, saying that he wanted to go out to buy medicinal materials, but Hans Han didn't approve. But Hans Han said he could write down the medicinal materials. He would ask people to buy it, and then he would pay for it. This is exactly what Yi Luyan wants. It is easier to have someone buy it than to do it yourself, but Hans Han has conditions. The condition is that Yi Luyan moves forward 2 more stone houses. Upon hearing this, Yi Luyan went to challenge the owner of the 7th stone house without saying a word. The owner of the stone house was a peak warrior of the 3rd level of true energy named Tyson, but he still couldn't stop Yi Luyan from pointing his finger. He was directly defeated by Yi Luyan and moved out of the 7th stone house. Because Yi Luyan's challenge was so sudden and the battle ended so quickly, many people didn't even see the scene of their fight. When they got the news, they only saw Tyson turning around and defeating the owner of the 8th stone house. Only then did everyone know that Yi Luyan had entered the 7th stone house. After Yi Luyan defeated Tyson, he came back to talk to Hans Han and handed over the list of needed medicinal materials. "Do you know how to make elixirs?" Han Shan asked curiously. "Yes. And I only take pills that I refine myself. That's why I need Master Han Shan's help," Yi Luyan said. Only then did Hans Han understand why Yi Luyan performed so well in the competition, but after arriving here, he felt a little unwilling to make progress. It turned out that the cultivation resource that was most attractive to warriors, elixirs, turned out to be unattractive to him. As for crystal stones, for a person who knows how to make alchemy, he naturally has no shortage of them. Han Shan was thinking about whether to change the rules at this time. But when I think about it again, there is really not much difference between the stone houses. Moreover, there are not many people at this age who can make alchemy, and it is not easy to change the rules just for him, so just think about it. Han Shan waved his hand to Yi Luyun. Remember, I didn't do it for you, you got it yourself. Leave the list there, and I will arrange for someone to buy the medicinal materials. Yes. Yi Luyun agreed and returned directly to his residence. When he returned, he found that his 9th stone house had been occupied. The 7th stone house has been vacated for him. Yi Luyun shook his head and walked into the 7th stone house helplessly. This is really a place where you have to fight for everything by yourself, competition is everywhere. But Yi Luyun quite liked this environment. Only when there is pressure can people be more motivated. Those who were defeated by him were trying their best to defeat him, so he did not dare to be lazy. Although he did not rob the house, he did not dare to delay his cultivation for a moment. The owner of the stone house in the reserve camp has changed a lot recently because of Yi Luyun. The 8th, 9th, and 10th stone houses, not to mention the frequent changes, even the owners of the top stone houses felt the pressure and started fighting with each other. The disciples who did not have a stone house were also inspired to practice even harder. Jin Zhou's work efficiency is really high. The next night, someone brought him all the medicinal materials he needed. Yi Luyun took a look and found that he didn't lack anything. Some medicinal materials that he could not buy before were actually bought. This couldn't help but make him take a higher look at Jin Zhou. Yi Luyun paid in full. The purchase of medicinal materials this time cost him 150,000 mid-grade crystal stones and 3 million low-grade crystal stones. He now only has more than 50,000 medium-grade crystals left in his hands, and he almost doesn't have enough money. The reason he spent so much this time was mainly because he wrote down the ingredients for the bloodline pill and the body refining liquid. But he didn't expect that he could buy it in the county town. Many of these medicinal materials are very rare. At least in Fengyang City, he would never be able to buy them all. It seems that as long as you have money, you can buy anything in the county. The great cause of making money by yourself still has a long way to go. If you buy medicinal materials once, you will almost become a pauper again. Then he began to refine the elixir. 18 of the bloodline pills were refined to the middle level of the Xian level, and the remaining 36 were all of the lower level to the Xian level. This medicinal material is valuable, so he practiced it more carefully, only making 10 pills in each furnace. For other elixirs, he always made 30 elixirs in one furnace. He refined 500 of each of the Yuan Ning Dan and the Ning Shen Dan. Among them, those who have reached the mid-level Xian level have about 100 pieces each. Although he seldom used the healing and detoxifying pills, he still refined 100 pills each. There are more than 20 Xian level middle-grade elixirs each. The body refining liquid and the 5 elements powder he prepared were enough to take his immortal body to the next level. He put all the middle-grade Xianxia elixirs and 5 elements powder together and kept what he could eat. He gave Lei Ming all the other Ning Yuan pills and Ning Shen pills, and also helped her improve her cultivation. Let Lei Ming also give some to the black python and vulture, so as not to let their realm fall. The 3 of them now usually stay in the stone house to practice. Lei Ming also became excited, and suddenly got so many cultivation pills, more than 400 pills each, most of which were low-grade Xian level pills. Moreover, Yi Luyun also let her make the final decisions, as if he made her the boss. So she made the distribution arrogantly, but she didn't treat the black python and the vulture badly. The black python immediately swallowed the entire pill at once and digested it slowly. Its digestive system is special and can control the amount of food it digests. The vultures eat them by the handful. Soon, both of them broke through the 5th level of true energy. The power of the soul has also been greatly improved, but Yi Luyun wasn't sure about Lei Ming's realm, and he didn't know if she had broken through. Yi Luyun also divided half of the low-grade healing and detoxifying elixirs among them, and collected the rest together, preparing to keep them for giving away or selling.